So in this video we're going to learn how to get your dog to walk in between your legs. But before that, it's important to teach them how to stand in between your legs. And sometimes your dog may or may not already know this, so I'm just going to try to cover that part too, and then move on to how to walk with the dog. So Jericho already knows this, so it might seem like it's really easy, but I'm going to try my best to demonstrate how I taught him that. Alright, so you have your dog right in front of you, and you can use a treat to lure him into a position. So what you would do is bring the treat towards your hands and lure him. So the most important thing to do is that initially your dog may not actually go through, so you can start by building small steps. So what you would do is, the dog is unable to understand that he has to follow your hands, so you may have to start off with small increments like this, eventually yes, and eventually yes, yay, good job, like that. So you start off with small baby steps like this, and then once your dog is able to understand, you're adding more steps before you give them food. Yes. And you'll notice that if you get to the point that the dog is in between your legs and you immediately give them food, they're already running out there. So you might want to then start building on waiting between your legs, yes, and then giving them the food. So they understand that they are expected to stay in between your legs. Good. Great. So once your dog is able to understand that what you're expecting out of them is to come in between your legs, you can stop using the food and start using your hands. So yes, and use the other hand to give them the reward, which means that you're not depending on the key to make them do that. So once you get to the step where you can start using your hand and not the food, you can start practicing that for a few repetitions until your dog is able to do it with less of a hand movement. So in the beginning, for example, you're probably going to need to completely bring your dog in between your legs, but eventually you can build on to this, or even a little bit and then a little less, and then just your hand, just your torso moving, sort of like phasing out the movement of your full hand going through. And once you get to the point where you pretty much have very minimal hand usage, you can start using the word that you want to use with it. So we use in between, so you could start doing it in between. Good job. Right. In between. Yes. That way. So what we're going to do next is high butt. We're going to start showing him how to walk with us. Sorry, he just licked me all over my face. I am low on cookies, so I'm going to go grab those. Okay. So in order to get him to move with me, he would have to actually know how to be in between my legs before that. So make sure you teach your dog that step, so that it makes the next step easy. Okay, so my dog knows in between, so I ask for that. Then how do I teach him to walk with me? So what you can do is take a step forward, and if your dog even moves a tiny step forward, yes, mark it. Yes. Yes. Now, obviously this is a dog that knows how to do this, so it might be difficult to get to that point where he would offer that behavior just because you're stepping forward. But try that, and if that doesn't work, you can sort of lure them forward and mark. I would recommend trying to minimize the luring. So if you're starting off with the lure, you want to eventually phase out the lure, otherwise you'll be stuck with dog just looking at the treat and not so much understanding the action. So Jericho, in between. Usually the dog has figured out that in between is between your knees, and so when your knee moves forward, he's likely to move his foot. And in the beginning, you'll probably get only so much as this much movement from your dog. I would mark that, and you can always mark the smallest increments as you're walking forward, and then eventually build up to the point of. Actually, Jericho's not very good with the forward walking. Oh, great, obviously he's doing well right now, but usually he's much better with the backwards. So the same thing applies for the back. I'm going to move a little bit off and show you hopefully the back legs. So again, I'm just expecting, stand, good. I'm expecting the tiniest movements as I move back. Yes, and I'm marking that. Yes. Yes. And granted, this might be harder with a small dog. So with a small dog, Jericho, in between. In between. In between. Good job. So for the small dog, you might need to bend and step, treat, step, treat. And you will basically build up to going taller and taller and your hand reaching out more. Eventually you'll be able to build up to 2 steps, then treat. So for example, yes, yes, yes. So you're, make sure you never get into a pattern of 2 steps treat, 2 steps treat, 2 steps treat. It should always be random. So 3 steps treat. 2 steps treat, 3 steps treat, 1 step treat. So you're not sort of like getting into a pattern of I will only get a treat if I do so many steps, and you're sort of keeping it random. So the dog just relies on when you're going to give him the treat. So he's following your legs and not so much when the food is coming at him. I hope this makes sense, and you can always try turning in any direction and rewarding any leg movements, so that it gets to a point where every movement you make is imitated by your dog, and they're able to move around in any form. So that would be something like, we're going between. Good. You can see like turning is not that easy for him, but he's able to do it because my knees are moving around his shoulders, and that gives him an indication of where he needs to turn. Great, good job. And always, another thing that I forgot to mention is your dog needs to know when it's okay to leave your legs and not just be stuck there forever. So it's always good to use some sort of release cue for your dog. A lot of people use okay, but okay is a word that everybody uses in their day-to-day life, so it might not really serve well. A lot of people in agility and dog sport have used break. So you will notice that once I ask for something, he's supposed to stay in that position until I say break. And I usually release a treat. So there are times when he hasn't understood the word yet, but that could also be that he's like completely fixated on this new thing that we're doing. We don't usually work in the backyard, so this is new for him, right? Alright, so I hope that helps. If you have any questions, you can let me know.